Welcome to the Scaling Japan Podcast, a podcast about how to grow your business from $100,000 and beyond in the land of the rising sun.
Welcome to the Scaling Japan Podcast. I'm your host, Tyson Batino, and on today's episode, we have Yoshiro Tasaka. He is the Director of Global Strategy Division at Shibuya City Government. Many cities in Japan want to attract more startups, and we are interviewing the various cities on what they offer startups and for unique insights about their city and plans for the future. On today's episode, we get to learn more about Shibuya and Tokyo, and I'm really excited to have Yoshiro. So Yoshiro, could you give a self-introduction, please?
Well, first of all, Tyson, thank you so much for having me. As you introduced me, yes, I work for the Shibuya City and running these startup divisions. I started these divisions the last 3 years, and then it's been quite adventure, and I hope my work contributed to the ecosystem in Tokyo.
Cool. And what attracted you to the position of running Shibuya startups?
I used to live in the United States, and then I lived in San Francisco Bay Area, and I inspired by like startup community, but also the local governments. I was at a position to work with the local politicians and then local community leaders. And then I really like the enthusiasm of people who really wants to contribute to their local communities, and cities are so independent. They don't listen to the national government sometimes, but because they are so independent financially as well, so they could say no to the national government. I thought it's really cool, and then I was interested in doing something for the local government, and mayor appointed me 3 years ago, and I was like, okay, let's take it. So yeah,
gotcha. Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
I used to help out Yokohama City.
Yeah.
And what I liked about it is the amount of people you can impact. It's much bigger numbers.
For your case, English educations, right?
Yeah, like I was thinking maybe 400,000 children was impacted by some of the initiatives that we tried to launch.
That's a great thing about working for local governments, yeah.
And could you tell us a little bit more about what Shibuya Startups is?
Mainly, we do three things. One is building ecosystem, which means we creating startup-friendly services with corporations. For example, one of the problem for startup founders is they cannot open a bank account. So now I work with local banks, and then if city check the business plan, bank open a bank account within probably 10 days or a week, maybe.
Oh, wow.
So it's very quick.
Yeah, normally it would take 2 to 3 months if you even get accepted.
Yeah. So those things, we have over 180 corporate members in my communities, and then we have monthly meetings, depends on the topics, but we identify that issue, and then we create a new service for startups. That's one thing we do. And then the other things we focus on is internationalizations. I think Japan lost the competitiveness for the last 3-4 decades because we lost the kind of sense of globalizations, and we want to bring more talents like you to Japan. So we started this startup visa program 2 years ago. And then so far we issued a certified visa to foreign founders. We've been providing smooth landing support. We help them to find housing or, setting up banks, cell phones, whatever they need. And then also we provide an office. And then we have a community manager to manage community activities, and then make sure that they can connect with the local people. And those are things we do. And then lastly, we does kind of proof of concept project. So all the startups wants to test their product, so we help them to do that. And then the uniqueness of Shibuya City is we have over 1,200 residents who sign up for the testers. So if it's a B2C product, we can test immediately. So that's
I didn't know that. That's interesting. Yeah, because I think the visa support is a big deal, because before you would need a 5 million yen just to
yeah,
get
yeah,
the business manager, but
yeah,
with the
yeah,
startup, it's a much easier entry.
yeah,
Also, like in Japan, you have to do the proof of concept before you can get a
yes,
sale or even potential client. So, and getting
yeah,
that first POC can take a lot of time. So, just having someone who can introduce you to the companies already and knowing who to connect you with in the companies, I think that's a big help that
yeah, yeah,
Shibuya can
yeah,
provide. At least in the 500 global program, I think a lot of the Series A or like pre-Series A's companies reached out to you guys.
correct. Yeah, that's our target.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess my next question is, yeah, what is your target audience that you're looking to attract?
So basically, yeah, as I said, we are targeting pre-seed, seed, maybe A, and then, but not only Japanese startups, but we are targeting international founders. We don't really choose any specific field. We kind of prefer any fields fits Shibuya or Tokyo.
One of the common challenges I see with my consulting clients is not having any staff internally who can drive marketing strategy and execution to the next level. This really limits the growth trajectory of a company, especially for a leader like you that wants to go from 30 million to 500 million yen a year and does not have the time to spend years learning through trial and error. To solve this problem, I'm launching a marketing agency that can help companies like yours to increase leads and closing rates through SEO, Google Maps, content marketing, and websites that convert. Head over to scalingyourcompany.com and book a free consultation. Let's talk about what your business needs are, where your current strategy is letting you down, and how we can help you see real results with the methods I've successfully implemented at multiple companies myself. Now, back to the episode.
Then, it's easy for us to help.
So I know health tech is one. I think fintech is an area. I think SaaS. What are some other areas that you're able to help?
So our latest initiatives is that we launched a company recently.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, it's called Shibuya Startups KK 株式会社. That company helps those foreign companies grow in Japan. So we started to recruit companies who wants to join this Shibuya Startups community. And then we found that interesting trends, which is age tech company really wants to come to Japan because Japan is like a super aging society. Of course, for the American startups, they are not quite interested in Japan. But I think age tech companies, they want to come to Japan. So we probably want to focus on age tech because, our seniors are struggling, so definitely wants to bring more. And also we see that whatever the technologies, but those companies who does business related to like a content IP, they want to come to Japan. So I see many like Web3 companies or generative AI companies, they want to come to Japan. So that's an interesting trend.
Cool. No, thanks for sharing those trends. Yeah, I can think of multiple age tech companies that are trying to set up business in Japan. Does Shibuya or Tokyo in general provide any financial support, incentives, or subsidies?
That's a good question. So Shibuya City, we don't. Tokyo Metropolitan Government does.
Yeah, I think they're doing a green fund. I think they're doing an energy fund, also like disaster relief. For those listeners who are doing hard tech, there are quite a broad range of subsidies available from the Tokyo Metropolitan Government. And for those of you who are interested, we did a podcast interview with Miho Tanaka on the topic of government money. Who are maybe some success cases or maybe rising stars coming out of Shibuya that are foreign founders?
For example, our visa holder started coming last year because of the COVID. I mean, they got the visa maybe 2 years ago, but they couldn't enter until last year's spring. One of our early visa holders' successful case is maybe for example, Bilal. He's from France. Actually, his company's name is Aki Lab. His company is a age tech company. He won the health tech kind of like a pitch contest, and then he got funding from Japanese VC, and then he's developing product with a famous university called OIST. You must know OIST,
Yeah,
Okinawa.
Okinawa Institute. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been getting partners and investors and then win the competitions. Yeah, so it's one of the successful case. Another case is Olaf from Netherlands. His company is selling solar power panels on ocean.
Oh, wow.
So because Netherlands is very small countries and they have solar panels on the ocean so that you don't have to use land. And then he was selected as one of the projects for Tokyo Metropolitan Government. So they are building solar panels on a Tokyo Bay. Yeah, it's really cool, right?
Yeah, and I know there's quite a bit of subsidies for energy tech as well right now.
Yeah. They're looking for green tech companies.
So I want to ask you about Tokyo as well, but also just Shibuya. So a lot of the listeners, some are overseas, some are in Japan, some are in Tokyo, all over Japan, but we know Shibuya for probably B2C reasons. We probably know Shibuya for like tourism reasons, but could you tell us more about just Shibuya, I guess, for businesses?
I think Shibuya is known for a place for the creators, like creative industries like fashions and designs, architect. Some data says like 1 million creators works in Shibuya. So like music, entertainment, we're known for that. So B2B wise, probably like those are the good partners in Shibuya.
Yeah, and I can think of multiple creative marketing agencies based in Shibuya.
Yeah.
But also, I think there's more startups who are setting up in Shibuya as well, right?
Yeah, so I think Minatoku and Shibuya are two. We have like two biggest like startups hub, and then both Ku has nearly like 2,000 startups, and then VC to venture capitals too. We have like almost same numbers.
Ah, gotcha. And what are some maybe famous companies in Shibuya?
Shibuya is known as the like kind of first startup blooming happened, and then so those like a 90s first startup boom from that time. Probably the companies name like Digital College, Cyber Agent, Mixi, GMO, DNA. Those are the kind of probably like legend companies in Shibuya.
And it's for those who don't know, a lot of them are actually billion-dollar companies.
Yep.
Except for Mixi, but
Yeah, Mixi is
but
yeah.
Mixi was pretty good until Facebook came.
Yeah, they had the same business. So.
And one of my good friends, he met his wife on Mixi actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
he's a big...
Mixi became like a gaming company now. Yeah.
What are some foreign companies that are in Shibuya?
Yeah, so the most famous one is Google. We have Spotify, Stripe. I think Shopify is here too. Yeah.
Gotcha. So I think because one thing I often hear is that you have to set up shop in Chuo Ward or you have to set up in Minato Ward, but it seems like there's quite a bit of startups in Shibuya.
Yeah, the number wise, at least better than Chuo, I think.
Just for listeners out there, it's a Shibuya-ku is another option.
Yeah, it's more fun, I think.
Yeah. Where it's, staff are happy usually.
Yeah. And only 10-20 minutes to Chuo and then Minato, so not too far.
If you want to get the adventurous types.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there any other unique things about Shibuya?
We are like a busiest station, one of the busiest stations in Tokyo. Many young people wants to come to Shibuya. We have daily like 3 million people come and Shibuya, and then all the trends are start from Shibuya. Media wants to cover whatever happens in Shibuya, so it's a good PR place. And we have over 100 music venues. So it's fun to spend time, I guess. A lot of good food restaurants, galleries, street arts, and then Yoyogi Park. Yoyogi Park is super nice.
Excellent. And so I guess for kind of Shibuya startups, it's what are kind of your plans for the next 3 years?
Next 3 years. By the
Kind of like,
way,
or it could be 1 year, 2 years,
yeah,
3 years.
yeah.
What are the plans
So
for the future?
yeah, so unfortunately, my time for Shibuya is limited. I have a 5 years contract, so will end 1 year and a half later from now, and then I don't have much time. So my goal personally is I want to create a environment that can continue these initiatives. So I created a company. Maybe this company might carry some of the work we've been doing, or we have a consortium. Maybe the consortium can carry some of it. And then, yeah, basically, I want to kind of create a foundation to continue these initiatives for years and years because ecosystem building takes time.
And what are kind of the goals of the ecosystem?
Yeah, we want to be like at least like 8 years, probably like a number one startup hub. It doesn't have to be just Shibuya, but Tokyo became like a number one hub. Or we have like very strong competitors like Singapore, Seoul, Taipei. I mean, Hong Kong. They're really much advanced. So hopefully, like we can catch up.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Scaling Japan. In addition to serving as your fine host, I also provide advisory and coaching services to business owners who want to 2x, 5x, and even 10x their business. So stop holding your company and your team and your employees back and let me help you and your company scale. Find more information at scalingyourcompany.com. Now back to the episode. And do you provide any unique types of support depending on the stage of the company or based on the stage of the company?
We help later stage startups, but yeah, mainly early stage. Yeah.
Gotcha. So I think Series A, seed, and pre-seed.
Yeah.
I remember that I think you also help with POCs.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you tell us maybe if you can, or those that you can, what are some companies you helped with that process?
Yeah, definitely. So, for example, we have done 70 projects last 3 years, and then 6 of them are adopted by the city. So now they contract, with city.
Oh, with the city.
Yeah. So, but for example, there's one startups who provide diaper delivery services for parents. So all the parents take their kids to daycare every morning, and then they have to bring their own diapers. But these companies deliver diapers for parents directly to daycares or preschools, and then they don't have to bring it. And then so we did a POC with them, and then we have 18 preschools in Shibuya, and then they all did a POC, and then after that they all adopted. This is a great service, we're gonna use it. So those things, yeah.
Oh, cool. I'll probably have to introduce one of my friends. I think they're doing something, I think, kind of helping kids.
Oh, nice.
I'll mention after the podcast.
Yeah. Please.
Cool. Maybe any other companies who did a POC?
Let's say we have a femtech company had a POC with us. They wanted to have 100 testers, and then we recruited our testers, but didn't reach to the 100. And then we have great partners. I mean, not only companies but local governments. Sapporo is one of them, but Kobe is a long-time friend, and then we called Kobe. Hey, can you help us to do this POC? And then with Kobe, we had 100 testers, and then these femtech companies can do 100 test cases with 2 local governments. Yeah.
And you told me you also, I think, for like companies who want to do a B2C, kind of like POC, that
Yeah.
could you tell me more about that support?
Yeah. So we have 1,200 testers in the city, and then those testers, when they register, they answer the questions like which vertical of industry is interested in, like edutech or femtech or senior tech, gaming, or they checked. So based on the answers, after we got an offer from startups, we send out the emails and then like, hey, these startups want you guys to test, and then some of them will answer, and then we'll conduct the test. Yeah, that's how to work. Yeah.
And do you have any other thoughts you'd like to share to maybe the audience, maybe who are thinking about, maybe they already have a company and they're doing market entry, anything else, I guess, let's say, any other messages to them or any other types of support?
Well, first of all, we created a startup media called Black Box, because Japan didn't have a startup media in English. So we created one. It's not about Shibuya, but it's really about the startup scenes in Japan. So if you are interested in Japan, please check it out. And then I have to say Japan is a little bit difficult market, as you know, Tyson. But I think it's a great opportunities. I think we are still number 3 economy in the world, and then Tokyo, we have so many big companies. It's also, although like Japanese big corporations are very slow, but we've been working with them, and we try to kind of change them, and then it takes time, but we will help you to connect big corporations. So yeah, I mean, doesn't have to be the first choice, but if you're ready, please come, and then we are here to help, and then make sure that you can build a community. We have a community, so it's getting bigger and bigger. So
And we'll link to Black Box in the show notes. And I think it is hard to do market entry in Japan, but once you're in, you're very secure. All right, and let's say, people say Japanese corporates are very slow to make decisions.
Yeah.
But also, not always, but often there also might be slow to change to your competitor too. So once you're in, you get a nice lock-in, or you get something more defensible.
Yeah. Long-time relationships. Yes.
Yep. As long as you don't mess up.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Thank you very much for your time, Yoshiro.
No, thank you, Tyson.